He looks like he's right on song. I cannot wait to see what he can do today. Resuming.
Racing about to start here at Rosehill Gardens. We've got 4 in a row coming up. The Ming Dynasty is up next. That'll be followed by the Shirako Stakes, then the Run to the Rose, and then the Theo Marks. The Shandong Ming Dynasty quality over 1,400 metres, a Group 3, and this mounting yard brought to you by Harvey Norman for all you need in furniture, bedding, electrical and technology. Here is the very popular Autumn Boy. Back today off a break after racing in Brisbane at the end of the Winter Carnival. Jason Collett will ride for Chris Waller.
Yeah, another one of these, the Autumn Sun 3-year-olds that have just got such a great attitude. Just look at them, the way they parade, all of them, they're so well educated, and he's had 2 trials, given an easy time. He's an unbeaten colt with a big boom on him. Look, the marketplace loves him, and you've got to respect him. Yeah, look, I'd rather assess him after today personally, but the writing's on the wall.
I was in Brisbane when he stepped out and won there, and I was just in awe of him. He just moves so fluently across the ground. For a big horse, he's so sensible, so relaxed. These Autumn Suns have just got the most perfect attitudes. He's a big boy, but he's still got that little bit of residual from that Queensland Carnival. He's not screwed down by any means, but he's certainly fought enough to run a big race.
Grand Prairie number 2, Kieran McAvoy and Peter Snowden.
Yeah, I think he's the forgotten horse here around the $9 mark. I think he's very fit, he's up and running. He obviously comes out of that messy race last time, but he did burst through winning that race well. He's thriving with racing, he's adaptable, and I think he's going to run boldly.
He's just, every time he steps out, he's just in perfect order. There's been no negative comments from the yard. He too has been one of those really laid-back horses. Nothing seems to faze him. He's a long-bodied horse. He's still at the top of his game, has not trained off at all.
Number 3, Providence, Nasrawilla. He's on board for Chris Waller.
Beautiful horse, beautiful horse. I think he had something to offer before being shut out of that same race, the up-and-coming last time as well. 1,400 suits him better, and he wouldn't shock if they're fighting somewhere at the finish out here at big odds.
Absolutely, he's just got swagger, Duff. The way he moves around the yard, he's got this really beautiful head on him. He too is definitely stripped fitter coming into this. He'd only had that one soft trial leading to that, so whatever he did, he was always going to come on immensely.
Okay, let's go to Federalist, Tyler Schiller and Team Hawks.
Oh, just have a look at that pedigree. I Am Invincible, Acadia Queen, and he looks like a Derby horse on face value. When you look at his trials and his strength, he's a Champion Stakes Derby type. And if he is that, he can't do anything bar sprint well fresh here. His trials are nice, and he always promised to be better at 3 and even as he gets older again.
I couldn't wait for him to come back as a 3-year-old. I was always drawn. I really gravitated to him as a 2-year-old, and things just didn't go right for him. He looks like he's thickened up now. He's grown into himself. Again, he's got a lot more bigger and better things in the campaign for him, but I wouldn't say that he's not here to run well, because he actually looks better than I thought he would.
Without peer, Chad Schofield and Kieran Maher.
Well, it's a month since going down narrowly with a big weight there last time on the heavy track here, so he has upside. 1,400 should suit.
He hasn't done much wrong, has he? In his 2 runs to date, he's been very good. He's been looking the part, and he still looks exactly the same here.
Crown the King, number 7, Ash Morgan and Bjorn Baker.
Very fit, makes his own luck on top of the speed, which is an advantage here today. So, no knock. I'm sure he'll have supporters at the price.
He's been racing really well. I feel like he's always the underdog in his past few, but he's been looking the part. He'll put himself up there again, and the fitness edge is going to take him a long way.
Well, here's Flying Orchard. Zach Lloyd and John Sargent duff from a midweek benchmark 64, and firming again on track here today. $7 into 6 in the last 20 minutes or so.
Heard a few interviews with John Sargent during the week, and he speaks highly of this horse. He's not hesitating to throw him in the deep end. He's giving him confidence in an easy maiden, winning by a space last preparation, and then resumes at Wyong and does the same thing, bolts in. So he's an interesting horse, and he's been freshened with a trial since that last win, so everything's pointed to him running well here.
Good size gelding. There's a lot of him. He carries really nice condition. I'm glad to see that they gave him that tick-over trial, because I'm tipping he'd probably get away on them if they hadn't have given him that extra trial coming into this, but I can see why the stable like him. He's got a little bit of class about him just to look at.
Here's one for Godolphin, trained by Kieran Maher. It's Barbara Rosser, Tim Clark.
Yeah, just would have liked to have seen him finish off a little bit better there second up, so he's better than that and could improve third up 1400.
He looked great when he stepped out at Warwick Farm. He's a real bull to look at. He's such a big stallion type looking at him. He wears a stallion chain just to keep him switched off, but he did everything right in the yard and he's nice and fit now.
San Giovanni, number 11, Andrew Atkins and Michael Friedman.
Yeah, well-bred gelding in an informed stable. He's earned a crack at this after 2 strong wins at the Provincials. 49 days in a trial since last run. I'm respecting the market with him.
Good size and scope about him. I've not seen him in the flesh before, but now that Andy's jumped on board, he's really pumped himself up. He doesn't look out of place here.
Powerhouse, number 12, Dylan Gibbons and Peter Snowden. He's second runner in the race.
Yeah, this harder than a maiden last start, but he did it well, and it was at this distance, and Peter speaks highly of him. He thinks he's a real improver.
Absolutely. He's a horse that looks like he's going to continue to stretch out over a touch further as time goes on, but I loved his will to win the other day.
Well, this horse casts a shadow over all the rest. Have a look at him. Here's Tom Vegas, number 13, Jay Ford and Dean Murphin.
Yeah, look, obviously we had a look at him in the San Domenico where he wasn't up to the task there. This 1400 now, get more of a guy, but it looks too hard. Again, presents beautifully. He stepped out last time here and he looked the part. He looked equally as good as everything else. He still does look equally as good, but probably not quite up to them.
And last but not least, 60s, number 14, getting into the field as an emergency, Rachel King and Chris Waller.
Was very well fancied in the up and coming and got caught off the track wide, no cover. So, different situation today. Inside draw, finds a good spot, and there'll be no excuses for him today.
He's a very settled colt, a very cruisy colt. He just takes it all within his stride. I've seen him his last few and he's not done a thing wrong in his parade. He handles it like a true professional, looking great again.
Okay, the Ming Dynasty field's going out. John Sargent, Flying Orchard, has certainly made an impression at the Provincials.
He has. That's Provincials. We're in against the big boys here, Greg, so find out today where we are, really.
You needed to give him a trial to get here today?
Yeah, it's a bit of a break, a month between runs, so we gave him an easy hit out. He's a very laid-back horse, so he needed it. But today's the question day, which way we go with him, so let's hope he can get a nice run, not too far from the speed, and finish it off.
But your gut feel is he's up to this?
He seems to be. He's a very laid-back horse. He does what you want, and he's shown it on race day twice, so let's hope he is.
Good luck, John.
Thank you.
John Sargent with Flying Orchard, unbeaten 2 out of 2. Autumn Boy is the solid favourite. Now, Chantel, plenty to pick from here. But you've got first uppers to deal with as well in Autumn Boy and Federalist. Who did you have coming out on top?
I actually went with Autumn Boy. I know he's not screwed down by any means. He's got a lot more to come, but he looked like he's still got that residual fitness from the Queenslander Carnival, and I just love his attitude. He's just so calm. Grand Prairie, I must say, he's still looking at the top of his game, and Federalist, I was watching him canter past the gates and I was really taken by him. It's a tricky race.
Yes, it is, but they're not shy to back this boom horse, that's for sure, Autumn Boy. I'm 2, 3, 5 and 1. I'm going with the very fit Grand Prairie here. I want McAvoy to come out and show some intent and say, I'm on a fit horse here, and if you want to, go with me, you're going to have to work to do it. So he's on top. I think Providence is going to run a ripping race. I think he's going to charge home here at big odds. Likewise, Federalist, number 5, and no knock at all on Autumn Boys except for the price, and I just want to see him do it at this level first, but the market says that he will. Some lovely horses here, 2, 3, 5 and 1.
Yeah, you're right, Ron. Some lovely horses, but punters only have eyes for the favourite. He is so popular. 350 taken when I first put markets up on Wednesday, 280 taken this morning, got into 260. He's back to 270. But he's nearly 60% of the total hold. So our punters are saying he probably should be an odds-on chance. And that makes him a big liability in our book. He was one I was thinking about opposing this morning, but I don't need to oppose him. He's just so easy to lay. $2.70. I'm not sure whether his form warrants that, but punters just think he'll just go through his classes and win here first up from himself. Flying Orchid, though, is really well backed as well. $8 taken Wednesday, $6.50 into 5 today. He's affirming second favourite as well. And with that, everything else has to get out. 60s It's only got out a little bit today, 650 out to 750. It is the one staying the most solid out of that lead up and coming stakes. Federalist, there was a little bit of money this morning, 11 into 9. Grand Prairie, your tip, Ronnie, not a bean for it, 7 all the way out to 10. Without Peers, an $11 chance. That's steady from its opening quote of $11. And we're out to Providence, $19. He's been pretty friendless. Crown the King, 21. And San Giovanni, an early firmer during the week. It's getting back out now, a $23 chance. Autumn Boy still sits there as a $2.70 chance. I didn't think we'd have a bigger stand than we had with 7s early in the day, but we will. It'll be Autumn Boy, $2.70, well over 60% of the total tab hold. And be interesting to see how this plays out. He's an $11 chance for the Golden Rose if you want to lock that in before he races here today. Of course, we'll see the Run to the Rose a bit later on.
Yes, 3 lead-ups today. We've already seen Vinrock win in Melbourne, the Ming Dynasty, and then the all-important Run to the Rose to come as well. So 2 weeks out from the Golden Rose, spotlight on the 3-year-olds, and we've got about half a dozen out. Shani, just repeat what you said about Autumn Boy and how good he looked in there.
Unbelievable. He's a big boy. He's got the cruisiest attitude. He just covers the ground so beautifully and so fluently as he moves around. So he's quite impressive.
I'll tell you what, there'd be one onlooker on a TV screen down there in Melbourne, Jay McDonald, watching the quality that he's missing out on today. Would have ridden Autumn Boy, would have ridden Autumn Glow, who comes up later today. Collett is the beneficiary. Let's see what he does. Flying Orchid, who they've heavily backed, goes into the gates, and Darren Flindell for the call.
Right, stand by. Autumn Boy is the favourite. And they're racing. There's a good line out. Crown the King and 60s the first two into stride, and 60s will hold the front. Powerhouse in third, followed then by Barbarossa moving up on the outside of the favourite Autumn Boy. So the favourite not too far from them in the early stages. Then we've got a line of 4 Without Peer, Tom Vegas, Providence. Going into that first turn, and Flying Orchid in the middle of the ruck. Being switched off Grand Prairie, was taken back to avoid that speed from San Giovanni, and Federalist first up today. We'll see them all. At 60, rocking and rolling at the 800 from Crown the King. Barbarossa goes to third. A neck back on the inside, Powerhouse creeping closer. 2 further back to the favourite Autumn Boy. Very well positioned in the run by Jason Collett. Clear from Tom Vegas, then came Without Peer. Being ridden up Flying Orchid from Providence and Giovanni. Grand Prairie and Federalist give away big starts as they turn. 60s in front by 2 on Crown the King. Barbarossa, Autumn Boy winding up on the outside. Then Powerhouse on the rails. Further back to Without Peer. 60s going great guns inside the 200 metres. 60s is roaring along. The favourite Autumn Boy is trying to knuckle down. It's 4 lengths away. But 60s with a real sniff of victory. Autumn Boy's coming with a big rush late. 60s clinging on. 60s won the Ming Dynasty. A half length to Autumn Boy. A gap back to Without Peer third. Followed by Barbarossa, Powerhouse, Grand Prairie very late. Further back to Flying Orchid, San Giovanni from Providence, Crown the King, and Federalist never really got into it.
The stablemates run 1-2 here. 60s got out with a big break when they turned for home. There was only one challenger, and he was a mile back when he set chase. He's narrowed that margin, Autumn Boy, but he couldn't catch 60s. Rachel King, Chris Waller will win. Autumn Boy not in the frame, only will appear very, very late in proceedings. His nose gets to the rump of 60s when they get to the line. 14 beats 1. Bottom beats top in the race book, and then look at the gap, Ronnie, back to third spot, which was Without Peer, and then another decent gap to the others.
Yeah, no, it was a good effort, 60s. He was well fancied the other day, but it was just, I think we'll just put that win down to the pattern of the day. It's being in his favour there, getting the beautiful run in the right spot. Autumn Boy had to come to the middle and beaten, but I don't think he'll lose any admirers. He might gain a few, in fact, for what he did there. So he's got plenty of more upside to come, having to come out a little bit there. And Without Peer was good. He's a break between runs. I thought Grand Prairie, although well beaten, was unbelievable, considering he missed the start and he was back last and had a lot to do. And then he comes to the outside. So he should have run a place for sure. But yeah, Winner was good. second horse, deserved wraps, I'd say, looking at that.
Okay, a wrap up to come of Autumn Boy as we move on to our next race, the Scirocco up next.
Welcome back to Doomben.